Hello, I'm Paige Howard, and you are watching Mr. Media.
Today on Mr. Media, I'll talk to Tampa stand-up comedian and actor Ward Smith, who's making a bit of a splash this summer with appearances on USA's Burn Notice and Lifetime's Army Wives. Stick around. All I can tell you with any certainty is that he's not one of the wives.
Very nicely done, sir.
Mr. Media is recorded live before a studio audience of struggling young actors who got to know Mr. Media 25 years ago and are finally seeing the payoff today in the new media capital of the world, St. Petersburg, Florida. Every 10 or 20 years, Ward Smith and I cross paths. The first time was back in 1987 when I started a Tampa Bay area feature magazine called Jump Monthly. It neither jumped nor came out monthly, but that's a conversation for another time. Back then, we profiled Ward, an up-and-coming local stand-up comedian whose father, Hugh, the longtime anchor of our then CBS affiliate's Evening News, was a local icon. In the intervening years, Ward became a husband and father and teamed up with a local radio legend, Cleveland Wheeler, and was a writer and air personality for the final days of the morning zoo. Sometime after that gig ended, I met Wheeler for lunch at the St. Petersburg burger landmark El Cap and was delighted when Ward turned up as a surprise guest. Now, earlier this year, Ward resurfaced on Facebook announcing his new career as an actor. Lucky guy, he landed roles on USA's Burn Notice and Lifetime's Army Wives. Now, the first of his Army Wives appearances, and he plays Detective Barker, will be telecast Sunday, June 24th at 10 p.m., and then he'll be back the following Sunday, July 1st. Then look for him 2 weeks later on Burn Notice on July 19th at 9 p.m. He plays an MI6 agent named Arthur Meyers who conducts a bit of horse trading with beautiful star Gabrielle Anwar's character, Fiona. Now, Ward is also the voice of the offensive coordinator for the Madden 2012 video game. And while he's not yet a household name outside of the Smith household, he is an old friend, and I'm eager to hear the details of his new life. Ward Smith, welcome to Mr. Media.
Thank you, Mr. Media. It's good to see you.
Good to see you. I'm very excited for you, as I know a lot of people on Facebook are.
Hey, it's an interesting time. You know, after pursuing it for somewhat 30 years in some fashion or another, now to actually be focused enough to do it, having the ability and having the time in my life where I can pursue it full time. It really kind of came together in about 5 months after once I sat down in October and really focused on, okay, this is what I got to do. I contacted some local actors that are working an awful lot. Figured, okay, give me the straight skinny on who the the reputable agents are in town. Where do you go? How to get started? I mean, out of sight is out of mind, and I just forgot all the players after a while. If you remember, Dot Burns was my agent at one time, and Dot, she's long since departed. And as a matter of fact, my dad hired her back in the day, wow. And so I didn't know where to start from, and so I went over to Performers Studio Workshop in Tampa, Kathy Laughlin's place. She's been there for about 30 years. And I've never taken any classes. I've just been there in the past for some commercial castings and whatnot. And so by going there and doing some scene work and going through the process and understanding and, hearing, she gives a kind of a state of affairs on the marketplace for actors in the Southeast, namely Florida, South Florida, on this coast, as opposed to Orlando and Miami, and what we can expect and what we can look forward to. There's no one around who really gives you the straight skinny on what's going on out there and stuff we need to know. So by getting immersed in that class, doing scenes with other actors, eventually showcasing for casting directors and agents that are brought in, and the agent in Tampa, Kelly Page over at Level Talent. She saw me and then signed me, and now the big thing was, trying to, to push me, and using technology like it is right now. A lot of it is auditions. You're shot from here up. A friend shoots you with a decent quality camera against a neutral background, and you're looking off camera when you're reading with the other actor, and then email it, send it to your agents or whatnot, and then they call you back. So I haven't done that much in terms of television work, not any really, outside the local market back in the day. But so she was aggressive enough in pushing me in the right direction. I guess a lot of things were working for me. Auditioned well, and then, bam! The Army Wives thing hit.
Can I tell you my theory
Sure.
about why it's working for you now?
Go ahead.
It's your face.
It's your face.
No, it's your face.
It's your face.
Hey,
It's your face.
it's your face. I'm serious.
Yeah.
I'm looking at you, and I'm realizing, like, for a show like Burn Notice, you have the face of you look like one of the guys on Burn Notice, for example. I mean,
Well, I'm not one of the guys on Burn Notice. I
Well-
like to be one of the guys who keeps coming back on Burn Notice.
well,
but-
I mean, well, hopefully that'll happen for you. But
Well, I had a little work done. See, when you saw me last time, I was an African American male, so I, had the nose, kind of elongated, and the hairline just, a little work here and there, because I did break my nose, so I just kind of had a little more character put into it, and then, but not that much has changed.
yeah, but life changes us. I mean,
Oh, you're not kidding.
your face has character in a way that you're 49. Maybe you don't want people to know that. It's too late now. But your face has character in ways that a 25 or 30-year-old's face does not. And
Right.
I mean, I'm just a little older than you, and it makes a difference on some of these shows where they're not playing up to teenagers.
Was at the same time they're still looking for looks, the book a look type thing. If it comes down, it sounds like a Yiddish word, a book a look. So, but what happens is when you show up, you might audition well and know the part cold and have the character down cold, and then the guy right after you might be 2 inches taller. Maybe his hair's a little darker. Maybe it's a little lighter. Maybe he's a little shorter. Maybe he's a little squattier. Maybe he's got a little more facial hair, or none at all, depending on it. And then that's it.
Facial
And it's
hair.
right. It's see, I can't grow
Leather hair.
it. Last time we met, you did have hair.
Yeah, well,
So.
that's a long time ago.
So that's what happens when they look for somebody that's in the shows, and that's one thing you learn, at this place over in Tampa at Kathy's place, the Performance Studio Workshop. He encouraged you to look at the shows and see what you're up for, And I had not seen Army Wives. I'd heard about it, and I really go back. Okay, now that I know there's an opportunity or chance exists for me to be on that show, it'd help if I get a look and get a sense of the style and the pace, and the tone of the show, which is different than all the rest of them. And so I figure, okay, you start to see what they look for. You can't be better looking than the stars, of course. You can't be necessarily taller than the stars. I remember back in the Showboat Dinner Theater days.
Oh man!
Remember that? Gary Berghoff was doing a show there, and I got an audition, and I was like the only guy around who was kind of younger that could probably do it. But I didn't get the part because I'm taller than Gary Berghoff, and you can't be taller than the star. He's a little guy anyway.
Yeah.
You have to probably get a dwarf to play next to him.
Oh.
I mean, I was because he's 5'2".
And for those who don't recall, Gary Berghoff played Radar in the movie
Radar, right.
and TV series for
He's
MASH.
so if you want,
And nothing
he's
since
not
then.
well, plays like his Courtney Boone or whatever it was called, where he's trying to change his image, and this is almost 30 years ago. The Showboat Dinner Theater. So, and now he has to be this tall, romantic leading guy, which he's not. He's trying to break out and do something different. Maybe that's why he had some difficulty, because you can't find people that are shorter than the leading man who's 5'2". So,
Ward, as your friend, I'm going to tell you, stop burning bridges.
am I burning bridges?
You'll never work with Gary Berghoff again.
Well,
Yeah.
that's
All right, so let me reframe the conversation. Take us. Let's
it.
start with Burn Notice.
Okay.
Now you work with, from what I understand, you work with Gabrielle Anwar,
Hmm.
who is speaking of petite. I mean, she's a
Yeah,
petite
she's a
woman,
little
right?
thing. Yeah, she is. She's a little thing, and a sweetheart. I mean, in both shows, the cast and crews couldn't be, nicer or sweeter. I mean, I'm only there for one day. I don't have the benefit of being there, through a whole season or whatnot. But everyone does what they can to make you feel, comfortable. And she was feeling like, like hammered scrod that day. She said, "I feel like hammered scrod." It was very funny. You look at the call sheet. She was been on the set like about like since 6 in the morning, and
Wow.
they didn't get to our scene till about 10 at night, 11 at night.
Oh.
Both times I went down to shoot, we wrapped at midnight. But so, and she was like, on her last legs, and she just, this close to her, and I said, "Are you okay?" She actually, because I had to play an MI6 agent, she came in closer to me. She said, "Your accent's good. It's really good." Thanks. Met with approval, and I said, "Can I get you anything?" She's like, "Oh, just a bit. I'm tired and I feel awful." She said, "I don't want to breathe on you." And I said, "It's fine with me. I don't care. I'm happy to be in airspace at this point." So next day I go back and I shoot, and then I see her. Oh, she recognizes me. I'm going because I didn't have a scene with her. She had the scene just before I did. And it's welcome back. Good to see you again. I mean, it's just being polite. They're not blowing smoke up your skirt. They're just that's the way they are, which is really nice. And I asked her how she was. She said, "Oh, I had bronchitis. That was terrible." I said, "Did you steal any of your kids' antibiotics?" She said, "That's what got me through it." So, but
Well, so you play an MI6 agent.
right.
So who went looking for Ward Smith to play British secret agent?
Well, how it happens? Lori Wyman, who's down in Miami, she casts Burn Notice, among other things. The Glades, there's several other shows and movies that are coming into the area that this woman, Lori Wyman, who I got to know through the association, through the former studio workshop. Didn't know who she was prior to it. So if you're going to get in the business, back in the business or immerse in the local business, you need to know who the players are. And Lori has been doing that for, this is what, season 6 for Burn Notice. So she's been doing that for quite some time. As much as I know, 5 seasons, maybe more than that. Uh, and she sends out the breakdowns. So you're an agent, I'm an agent, and Carol's an agent, whomever, all through the South. She puts out the breakdowns. I need a guy, kind of like for you, like a Bob Balaban kind of a look for the professor part, you know. Guy, and description is that, glasses, receding hairliner, bald as nice. See, I wouldn't answer something like that. I would, you wouldn't answer
Be
the
happy to
mom
shave your head.
for sure. But yeah, what's the breakdown? Right? Do they need cooks? Whatever the breakdown calls for. The size, weight, demographic group, race, racial background, whoever it is. And so they send the breakdown, and what it is, the agents get back to the casting director. Sometimes the casting director will call you up and says, "Bob, I have a part for Ward. Uh, Here's the script, the sides, which is about the scene. It's maybe a 45-second scene, that you and have them, put them on tape and get it back to me. Sometimes that works at a plus when they get the breakdown from the production company. The casting director can kind of see in their head, who'd be good for this. So they can limit, their headache by just going, I'll call Bob. This person I want is represented by Mr. Media, so I'll call Mr. Media and it gets it in. Or they in the case for Burn Notice, they Lori Wyman told my agent. She said, I want to see Ward and maybe 3 other people from the agency. She sent it out, I guess, in those. So 25 agents that got this breakdown from in the Southeast and also in LA. So I went on tape. I got it in right away. That's the important thing is when you get a notice, get yourself on tape and get it back to me by Wednesday. Some people will take all that time. Especially you get the announcement on Monday that it's due on Wednesday. I get it back in first as soon as you can, so I'm in that top 10 at least in my mind that I'll be seen because when they get these MPEGs and they got to scroll through every actor, sometime, unfortunately, in the cases after 10 actors, next they're starting to get a little brain dead. And if you're after the first 10, you have a less of a chance to be seen, I think.
Makes sense.
So if you get in the face right away, and you create that top of mind awareness. So that I got down to the first right of refusal, which basically means you're on hold. They said it's between you and another guy, and okay. So, but I was the first choice, which is always nice. But you're on hold now. At that point, it's real horse trading. Who are they going to get? And it turned out this guy, Trenchcoat. I would say his name is Trenchcoat, but he's I looked him up on IMDb. Good-looking kid, kind of looks like Tom Cruise. Dark hair but cold blue eyes, and he's a Brit for real. He's actually shooting the new Star Trek movie right now, and I hope to God he was so busy where he couldn't get away and do it. So, but I got it.
Wait a minute. You're not talking about Benedict Cumberbatch, are you?
No.
Well, I started thinking, wait a minute. He's in Star Trek movie, trench coat. I mean, that guy seems like he's in everything, so it wouldn't surprise me anymore.
Yeah. or Brian Dennehy, who's not in anything anymore.
Yeah.
But and that's how they came. I mean, the waiting, that was a long weekend. I got the audition in on Thursday. I was waiting Friday, didn't hear anything.
Could we hear your British accent?
Yeah. Well, it was typical in that. It was, I didn't try to force it at all. I just parted, more like a North London sort of thing. That wasn't too cockneyfied. It wasn't too, I mean, decades of listening to Monty Python records, you're able to pick up on so many different dialects and ranges or something like that, and you could just run the gamut of it,
And so you beat out a genuine Brit who's in the Star Trek movie.
Right.
Very good. Nice
and
work.
One of my agent's assistants, Darcy, she's from the UK as well, and she's like, she saw the tape before they set it off. She said, "Oh, your accent was just spot on." And she's like, from North London, she's, "I'm a Chelsea fan." She's got her own way of things, and she's, it's perfect.
And
so if she liked it, there's another girl in class who's from the UK who says it's spot on, and Gabrielle Anwar. This is 3 UK, ladies.
I was going to say, right? She's like Scottish or something. She's
she's from the UK, but she plays
Scottish on the show.
She plays Irish. She plays like an Irish.
I'm sorry, Gabrielle. I'm sorry. If you see this, come visit. I'll apologize in person.
I'm sure you will. And take it from me, Gabs, because we're on a first name,
Gabs,
monosyllabic first name basis. Hey, Gabs.
So every guy who's watching this doesn't care about your story about how you got the role. They want to know what it's like to be standing opposite Gabs.
Literally, the top of her head is right here.
Yeah.
And I had to cheat a little bit because the scene I had with her, I don't want to give it away. I'm not even authorized to give it away.
Yeah.
So I'm just, but I am a co-star because that's kind of, it'll say co-starring. I'm sorry, guest starring.
Guest starring. That's nice.
It's right up in the top. So I get my own top of show card, as the phrase goes. But so they told me to come around, and I was sitting at a desk, and she comes in, and then that's why I go around to say hello, introduce myself, and kind of lean back on the desk, and it's kind of, start to sort through her background and bring her up to speed on what's going to be happening in your life. And there's some snappy dialogue in it too. I don't know if you've watched Burn Notice.
All the time. Haven't missed an episode.
If you look at the opening credits, and the same guys that kind of rotate and created the show, Steve Selig, who's one of the writers / directors and associate producers, they kind of change hats, around. And this guy, Jason Tracy, that wrote, an executive producer, and wrote the episode that I did. The guy looks like he should, works the afternoons at Best Buy. He's a young kid compared to us. He's in his 30s, and just, and he was on set and being very nice. Of course, no one's ever going to pull you aside unless you're really bad and go, Ward, it's not working. You want to do your best job. I'm my own worst critic. If I blew a take, and I did a couple times. Just like, because Rennie Harlan is directing it from Cliffhanger and Die Hard 2 fame and Cutthroat Annie, former Mr. Gina Davis's husband. And he's like one of the top 17 grossing directors.
Wait,
So
Rennie Harlan directed this episode?
yeah, he directed a couple other episodes last season too, because he likes to do television. He's a tall Finnish guy.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
It's like I like to keep the chops up. It keeps me in touch with what's happening. He likes the technology. There's always new cameras coming on, and sometimes films don't upload. I like working fast and working on the budget. It's working in close quarters. It keeps you grounded. Super guy, and of course I got the first line in both scenes. I've got the first line. And the cameras are right there on you, and Rennie Harlan and Gabrielle Anwar, and I'm like, oh God, I can't do it. It's you want the moment like this. You want it to come. You work for it, and then it shows up.
Are there any pictures of you on set?
There's some, but there's no official stills. If they do come out, it'll be after the show airs, because they make you sign a little waiver when you get on the set that you will not update your Facebook status. You will not take pictures with your phone. Hey, look, I'm on the set, and
Yeah, of course not.
Because they don't want anything in the background. There's a time and place for that, but they just want to control the content. If there's something that might give away the storyline, or something that might give away, the episode, the spoilers, because they're out there in droves as it is.
Yeah. Well, take a deep breath here, because what I'm going to do is we're going to keep rolling, but I'm going to drop in a picture right here of Gabs, just so if anyone hasn't seen the show, they can really fully appreciate what you got to drool over for a short piece of time.
Did you see her in the Tudors as well?
She was in the Tudors? No.
Yeah, so you go look at the Tudors. She was an Anne Boleyn. She played Henry's sister? I can't recall.
I don't know. I've never watched the show, but I'm going to have to go now.
It's great in Victorian attire.
Oh.
She was in a little orange jumpsuit because she's in the penal institution right now. It's that she's in the slammer, and as the cliffhanger started, now Michael, Jeffrey Donovan's character, is trying to get her out. And
I think she is a seriously underrated actress, and just an incredibly good-looking woman.
She is, and when you see her in true life, you have to get her to look up at you. So you want to look at those eyes.
Yeah.
And I noticed that they did put a little coloring in her hair. When you're this close on her, you can see she's got kind of an auburn type of hair. And I don't know if they did it for her character, or they probably did it for a character, or just to give her a more distressed look because she's in jail and she's not close to her moisturizers anymore. So they give this kind of drabby appearance. And she was still gorgeous. I mean, it's not like she was, charwomaned up and everything, and this big prosthetic nose. And I think she would probably still be gorgeous in that sense too.
I suspect. All right, so look, before we run out of time, you got this other show.
Yeah, I got that airs this Sunday.
Army Wives. You've got 2 episodes of this.
Yep. These came first, actually. I shot these in March.
And you're playing a cop, right? Detective Barker?
Right.
All right. So, I don't know. I'm not the brightest guy doing an online interview show, but I'm guessing somebody in the cast must be in trouble if they're being visited by Detective Barker.
Well, there is a cliffhanger element to it, and as you know, Kim Delaney's character was in the hospital. Will she make it out or not? I don't know. I mean, sometimes they give you the full script so you can get content, or they just give you your scene, and that's it. So I don't know.
Who did you act opposite? Can you tell us that?
Yes, one of the wives.
That's no help at all.
Catherine Bell.
Yeah.
And
although frankly, you can't go wrong with any of those wives.
Terry Serpico, and the guys that play the husband.
Yeah. I don't care about any of them.
Right, really. But I will say that yes, the stars of the show, the two brunette stars of the show, were very nice and very, very funny.
Okay.
Both I went up twice like I did with Burn Notice. You went up and it's the 1 day shoot, on set for a day, put it in the can, 6 takes from different angles, and then you're out. And then so you come back, and then it's a different location, and people remember, hey, welcome back, good to see you, and
Nice.
and Catherine Bell said, how are your sons? Because we talked about kids, and how's your little one? Oh, fine. And then, everyone, it's just they've been there for 6 months, and it's for 6 years, and it's like a family to them. And again, they want you to have fun. And this guy, Brian McNamara, who plays one of the husbands,
That's right.
he had like this little fart, thing like Ted Webb has,
Yeah.
So, and he's got it behind him, and one of the scenes is working in the living room, and I'm asking questions. Sir, did you see anything that what happened? I warn you, there's going to be a lot of coverage because this type of thing doesn't happen every day in this community, and and so they got to go
Welcome
back.
to the cast.
That's exactly what he said. That's exactly what he said, and that was like, okay, you guys are terrible. And when I started again, they go back, they regroup, and action. I had the first line. It comes as soon as I went, and then they go back. Like 3 times you got me on this, and it's like it's one thing when you're at fault, you make a mistake or you don't hit your mark, and everyone's got to go back. You're costing money and time because we got to go back and do it again. Even though they're prepared to go back and do it again, you're still like going, "Oh God, I don't want it to be me. It should be on the light guy, or maybe somebody's making the sound. It's not me." They can't roll their eyes at the guy on camera and go, "Oh, geez, just go back and get it again." but since he's the star, he's causing it. Okay, he can do that. I can't throw it. So
Well,
it was a lot of fun, and interesting to see how it worked.
so how will you? So the first episode is this Sunday at 10 o'clock on
Right.
Lifetime. Big moment.
First check should come after that too.
Oh, well, the check's good too. But so I mean, it's a big moment. How will you watch it? Who will you watch it with, and where will you watch it?
Interesting question. I don't know if there's a big family get together viewing party or something. That'd be nice. But if probably just end up watching it someplace. I don't know if it's Sunday night. May have if I have the stones to walk into the local Hooters and see whatever game's on to get them to change it. To put it on Army Wives. See if that might be a possibility or something like that. We'll see.
I do believe there is conveniently there is a brand new Hooters located probably right between our two homes.
That's right. I'm off of Candy. Where are you at?
Downtown.
Okay, sure. Well,
Yep.
yeah, I was thinking of that.
Lovely new place. Big TVs. I suspect we could.
You talk about timing, Robert. That was one of our big TVs.
Big TVs, television sets.
Yes, both of
Sets
them.
of TVs. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So one more thing before we gotta go. What's
I'm leaning back. I'm sorry.
what's happening with your comedy career? Are you still out there pulling gigs?
I think I have something the end of August out on the beach at Coconuts out on the beach. I gotta firm that up.
That's where we first met.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Coconuts out on the beach. It may not have been the same Coconuts, but it was Coconuts out on the beach.
Well, then it was in the Howard Johnsons.
That's
remember?
right. Yep.
Now Bob Shoemaker, who's kind of stayed in that area, St. Pete Beach, from between the Hojos and the Trade Winds, and he was at the St. Pete Hilton for a while because he lives out there, and people kind of know that. That's where a lot of touristy people go, and people who are tourists who know the comedy club is in that part of town. So, and they just opened up a new room, I think, in the Sandpiper. I mean, real tricked out, beautiful room. It doesn't look like a conference room, converted into a comedy club. It looks like a real freestanding room. So that'll be interesting to get back in there. So always trying to, do something. If it's not on the camera, it's on the stage, or writing a script, or trying to just keep at it. I've been after for so long, starting to get a little traction. It's a nice motivator to lock in even more. Somebody's in the background. I just saw that.
Yeah. My daughter's slipping by in the background. Just ignore her.
That's right. Pay no attention.
Pay no attention to the droids. These are not the droids you're looking for. Well, tell Bob Shoemaker I said hello. I haven't seen him in a long time.
Yep.
Good guy. I actually did work for him back in the 80s. And folks, listen, folks. You can see our good friend Ward Smith in 2 episodes of Lifetime's Army Wives. The first will be telecast Sunday, June 24th at 10 p.m., and then he returns the following week, July 1st, also at 10 p.m.
That's right.
Then, look for him opposite Gabs,
Gabs.
it's Gabrielle Anwar, who plays Fiona, on Burn Notice on USA on July 19th at 9 p.m.
Oh.
And Ward, you have your website, wardgregorysmith.com.
That's right. Hopefully the scenes will be getting up there as soon as I get them.
That'll be
the
very
scenes
cool.
that-
And can people find you on, I know you're on Facebook as well,
Yep,
right?
Facebook and no Twitter. I'm still holding off on the Twitterage
You're
right
Twitter
now.
free, huh?
I am Twitter free.
All right.
You know?
Well, I'm speaking for all of your friends in the Bay Area. We're all very proud of you, very
Thanks,
happy for your
Bob. I
success.
appreciate it. Thank you,
And
sir.
Ward, thanks for joining us on Mr. Media.
Thank you, Mr. Media. See you later.
See ya.
So long from the Sunshine State.
You can see and hear almost 1,000 Mr. Media interviews by visiting our main site, mrmedia.com, mrmedia.com. Or check out the more than 200 video interviews on the Mr. Media radio site on YouTube. And I'd sure appreciate if you'd show some love for Mr. Media's advertisers, including Stitcher. Apple named Stitcher a top 5 news app of 2011. It's a free mobile app for your smartphone or tablet that lets you listen to your favorite shows and discover the best of news, entertainment, and sports on demand. You can listen whenever you want to more than 5,000 shows, get customized recommendations, and discover what your friends are listening to. My own list of Stitcher favorites is pretty eclectic. I start my day with an hour of MSNBC's Morning Joe with Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski. Then it's the latest 2-minute update from the Onion News Network. After that, I'll listen to WTF with Mark Maron, Here's the Thing with Alec Baldwin, HBO's Real Time with Bill Maher, and excerpts from E's Chelsea Lately and The Soup with Joel McHale. Also in regular rotation on my Stitcher playlist, the BS Report with ESPN's Bill Simmons, the TechCrunch headlines, and the Don Geronimo Show. The latest episodes of each show, whether originating from broadcasts, cable TV, radio syndication, or podcasts, are continuously updated. Stitcher is a free app for your iPhone, iPad, Kindle, Fire, BlackBerry, Droid, and more. And show your support of Mr. Media by getting, did I mention it's free? The app at stitcher.com/MrMedia. That's stitcher.com/MRmedia. Stitcher Smart Radio, the smarter way to listen to radio. We're also supported by Audible. Check out Audible's 30-day trial membership and download the audiobook version of the book everyone's been talking about, 50 Shades of Grey by E.L. James. Sign up for your free trial today at audible.com/radio. Again, audibletrial.com/radio. And finally, if you need a disc jockey for a wedding, bar mitzvah, corporate event, or just a big old party, please consider calling 1-800-DIAL-DJs, the party authority for all your party entertainment needs. You can call 1-800-DIAL-DJs or go to their website, 1-800-DIAL-DJs.com, and tell them Mr. Media sent you. And thanks for listening.